Hey guys, welcome to Britannians. I'm Joshua. As you know, last week the government has announced the new salary threshold limit for skilled worker visa. So they have released the detailed list for each job title, what will be your minimum salary requirement. If you hold a student visa or a post-study work visa, or if you're eligible for the new entrant category, then so you can click this link to watch the video that I have made for the new entrant category people, because it is a totally separate salary threshold for the new entrant category people. This video is mainly for people who are coming directly from outside of UK, or if you're switching from dependent visa to skilled worker visa, then this salary threshold will apply for you. Without any delay, let's get into the video. The minimum salary for people coming from outside the UK or changing from dependent visa to skilled worker visa, then you need to get a minimum salary of £38,700 per annum in order to get a skilled worker visa in the UK. It is not the same for every jobs. So only for few jobs you have to get £38,700, but most of the jobs it is more than £38,700. So let's dive deep into that. So they have divided this into three mainly. The applicant salary equals or exceeds both £38,700 per annum and the going rate for the SOC 2020 occupation code. And then if you are on a PhD, if you have a PhD in a subject relevant to the job, then you can get a salary of $34,830 per annum, or 90% of the going rate, whichever is higher. If you have a PhD in STEM subject relevant to the job, then you can get a salary of $30,960 per annum, or 80% of the going rate, whichever is higher. So these are the three different requirements. And if you are on immigration salary list, if your job is on the immigration salary list, for example, if you are a nurse, if you are a care worker, or if you are on any other jobs on the immigration salary list, then you can click the video here, which will detail about what is your salary requirement for you, because that is totally different, because you don't have to earn 30,000, more than 30,000. You can earn like 26,000, 29,000. There are different rules for that. So I have covered that in that video, so you can go and check it out. This is for only for people who are coming on different, not on health and care worker visa, who are coming on skilled worker visa, especially for professional jobs in the UK. I have linked the document that was published by the UK government, so you can go and click the document on the description. You can go to page 80, where they have listed all the job titles from page 80 to 200. There are lots of jobs. They have covered almost every job titles, and they have given the going rate for that. So once you open the table, you can see the SOC occupation code, which is the job occupation code on the left side. And next one is the job titles, and then you can see the going rate, and 90% of the going rate and 80% of the going rate. So if you don't have a PhD and you're coming to UK for a job, you're getting a job in the UK, then you need to earn the rates that is mentioned on this going rate column. For example, if you're coming as a construction manager, site manager, then you need to get £50,100 per annum, because it is mentioned that you have to get either £38,700 or £50,100 per annum, whichever is higher. That is what is mentioned. So you have to get either £38,700 per annum or the going rate, whichever is higher. So if you don't have a PhD, in STEM subject, then you need to get the rates which are mentioned on the going rate column. So if it is less than 38,700, then you have to get 38,700. If it is more than 38,700, then you have to get the value which is mentioned on the going rate. If you have a PhD which is not in a STEM subject, then you have to look into the next column, which is the 90% of the going rate. For example, if you have a PhD in construction management and you are coming in as a construction manager, then you can get the 90% of the going rate of £45,090 per annum. This is for people who have completed PhD outside of the country and they don't have any student visa, or they don't have post-study work visa. So if you have student visa, or if you are on a post-study work visa, then you have to watch the new entrant video which I have linked before. And if you have a PhD in STEM subject, for example, I mentioned construction management, but actually construction management comes under PhD in STEM. So you can get 40,080 pounds, which is the third column, which is 80% of the going rate. So if you don't have a PhD, you have to look into the going rate column. If you have a PhD which is not a STEM subject, then you have to look at the 90% of the going rate. And if you have a PhD in STEM subject, then you have to look at 80% of the going rate. So these are the three columns that you have to look if based on the criteria. You can see that most of the jobs like insurance manager, investment banker, 70,000 pounds going rate. And if you're human resources business partner, recruitment manager, training director, you need to get 49,400 pounds per annum as your going rate. For every job, you can see the going rate is really high than 38,700 pounds. If you have a PhD, then you can go to the 90%. If you have a PhD in STEM, you can go to the 80%, but going rate is really high. 38,700 pounds is a bare minimum. But then if your going rate is more than that, then you have to get that going rate as your salary. This makes it very difficult for people who are trying to get a skilled worker visa from outside the country, because if you're coming from the outside the country, you are not eligible for the new entrant category, and then you have to get this salary in order to get the skilled worker visa. Also, for dependents who are trying to change their jobs to get a skilled worker visa, you have to follow this going rate because you won't be eligible for the new entrant category. It is becoming difficult day by day, and with the increased salary threshold limit, it will be even more difficult for people who are trying to get a job in the UK. I hope this video is useful for you. If you have any queries, you can just leave it in the comment section. I will try to address it. If you like the video, hit the like button, share the video and subscribe to the channel. We'll meet in the next video. Until then, goodbye. Cheers.